I believe this is my first time going live in the morning time. So I'm going to start this off by saying good morning. Good morning, everybody. I understand people have jobs and it's super early. So many people may not be able to make this live, and that's all right. There's a reason why I'm going live so early because I want to sort of get the other half of this reaction out of the way. And I want to give you all a treat later today. Later today, I'm going to sort of do a deep dive into Candace Owens' episode yesterday because she decided to talk about Freemasonry. And she has officially announced that she believes that Charlie Kirk was sacrificed due to Freemasonic agendas and rituals. So for those of you that are wondering, if if I saw the episode, what I think about it, I think it was pretty significant. Now let me tell you, for those of you that may watch this back and say, Didi, who cares about some random YouTuber who has some negative things to say about those that are critical of Erika Kirk? Who cares? I understand why you think that way, but let me convince you otherwise. It is much bigger than that because there's a huge fight that is happening in this country, and narrative is everything, right? And while I am not 100% for certain if Charlie Kirk truly lost his life that day or not, what I am certain of is we are dealing with the biggest political assassa pow-powing in narrative of my lifetime, of this generation, and it's not even close. And those that are questioning that narrative, I believe, are being attacked. And I do believe that there is a paid campaign, and I'm not going to say any organizations or any people's names for legal reasons, but I do believe that there are people out here that are paying folks to disparage, tarnish, and to attack those that are questioning the narrative. And in this particular case, Candace just happens to be the biggest voice. So I always like to state that this is not about, quote unquote, taking up for Candace any way that I can. The purpose of this is to take up for the truth, right? And if you're going to attack someone for simply trying to figure out the truth, then you have made an enemy out of me. And I don't care if the person that you're attacking is a conservative, a Democrat, non-political, apolitical, whatever. I don't care, right? I'm about protecting truth on this channel. And I do believe that this person that we're about to react to has been paid to push a huge lie. And I'm truly disgusted because this person started off their video with a prayer. They sounded genuine. They prayed for both Candace and they prayed for Erika Kirk, to then proceed and tell countless lies throughout the video. And even the things that they said that I'm not sure if it's a lie or not, they refuse to either play clips to back up or substantiate their claims, or they refuse to just provide any sort of evidence, that being articles, police records, things of that sort. When you're making statements such as Candace Owens has been arrested in the past for harassment, and therefore that explains why she is so hell-bent on harassing TPUSA and Erika Kirk, especially when I consider myself a part of the camp of those who are suspicious of TPUSA, and I'm doing this unapologetically, then you once again have made an enemy out of me, right? And so I'm definitely going to react to Candace's episode later today. Her episode from yesterday, I'm going to react to it later today. You all do not want to miss that, because I'm going to tie that in, because there's some things that Candace Owens refused to talk about. If you're going to talk about Freemasonry, and if you're going to talk about the fact that Charlie Kirk was sitting inside of a pentagram, which we covered that, like 3 weeks after everything happened, because it was a lot deeper than that, right? We're going to get into that. All right. We're going to get into that. So with that, let's go ahead and hop into this video. And yeah. Okay, it looks like I'm going to have to push the video up.
I don't know what I.
Okay, that's the girl. Let's find the video. Okay, I think this is a great starting point.
Just became a conservative back in 2017.
Let me address this as well. Someone says that this girl has a whopping 45,000 subs. She needs to go sit down somewhere. Listen, I understand where you're coming from with that. We don't sub bash over here. We don't view bash over here because I understand the grind. It's like being a business owner and you're teasing someone because they don't have that many customers. All it takes is 2 weeks and that can completely change. Sub count also does not matter, right? There are content creators with 10,000, 20,000 subs that could go live and draw in way more live concurrent live viewers. It's about your base. It's about those that are core to your following and those that support you. But more importantly, the reason why her subscriber count does not matter is because if there's a paid campaign, they can generate buzz around your videos. There are ways that they can do that. And one of the strategies that they use is they'll tell you, they'll pay you. A lot of people use the number 7,000. I don't know if people actually are still getting paid there or not, but they'll say, hey, we're going to pay you X amount of dollars to push this narrative or to put this video out. And once you do that, don't worry about if the video performs well or not. We're going to then have other people that are part of our conglomerate, a part of our network, who have large followings. We're going to have them to share your video on their Instagram channel. We're going to have them to give you a shout out in one of their videos. We're going to have them to pretend that they organically came across your video and they loved everything that you had to say about Candace or about defending Erika, about ignoring all the red flags and all the lies that TBUSA has been caught in. We're going to have them to share your content, which will then generate more eyes and more viewership for you. So that's another way that you'll benefit, only if you agree to push this narrative. All right. Great point. Somebody said Matt Walsh has 3 million subs and he's horrible. I agree. All right. Let's take a listen.
And less than 3 years later, she releases a conservative book and she also speaks at CPAC. Was this an authentic rise or was the conservative movement just desperate? And this is why we need to be willing workers. What? The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. And a lot of people are wanting to put off the work on somebody else and then wants to complain about why the work is not working right. Why it's not coming out the way that you expected it to. And maybe that has something to do with you. This story is about accountability. And as I look through this timeline, we must hold ourselves accountable as well as conservatives. Now, most of us watching this, we're not making the decisions. We've already seen Ben Shapiro holding himself accountable. But as I'm looking through this timeline, it seems as though the conservatives rush to adopt Candace Owens, to take her into this movement, to love Candace Owens. And next thing you know, she turned on them. And now they're wondering why. But all it takes is a simple timeline to see how this all came about.
What?
Now, 2021 was a turning point for me when it comes to Candace Owens. In 2021, I almost had the opportunity to meet Candace Owens. I was about 20 feet away from her, and I was about to walk up to her. And something in my spirit said, don't go up to her. I could see that she had an ego issue. She was full of herself. And at that same event that I was at, I went to an after party and it was a VIP after party where you had to pay money to be in those rooms. And people were wondering, where is Candace Owens? Why is she not here? And Candace Owens was nowhere in sight. And a lot of people were saying at that time that Candace Owens was arrogant and that she was full of herself. These were conversations that were being had in 2021. Now, what also happened in 2021 is Candace Owens joined the Daily Wire. She also tarnished the reputation of rising star in the conservative movement, Kimberly Klacik.
Kim Klacik here. So I want to take a minute and update everyone. Everyone's asking for updates, and rightfully so. As you know, I'm still not under investigation, and none of the allegations have been proven to be true. Basically, the big accusation here is that federal agents aren't doing their job, right?
For so many people on the right, that was truly a turning point for them when it came to their support for Candace Owens, because they knew that Kimberly Klacik did nothing wrong and her financial dealings in her campaign were completely fine, in good standing. Instead, Candace Owens went online, went on an Instagram live, and completely tarnished her reputation. Millions of Candace Owens supporters backed her just because they trusted her. And to those people who did that, if you happen to be somebody who backed Candace Owens during that time, you owe Kimberly Klacik an apology, and I hope you give her one. I know her, she's my friend, and a lot of y'all were wrong.
Bingo, there it is. So I'm not extremely familiar with this Kimberly Klacik person, but from what I understand, she was accused of a couple of different things, and she was sort of excommunicated from the party. And Candace wasn't the only one that was critical of this person, but there it is. There's your answer. She's personal friends with this girl, so this is personal for her. But again, there's no evidence here. This person is just yapping her mouth. Again, the purpose of this live is not just there's a lot of people that are critical of a lot of people on the internet, but you don't see me going live. Specifically for this video, this person runs in these circles and they're deciding to put out these narratives simply because TPUSA is being critiqued right now, which is one of the most, this video is so cringe to me. This person comes off as very unhinged and very not all the way there. And I don't mean to resort to ad hominems. My point is just that she seems to be a bit off, a bit emotionally charged.
Candace Owens also hosted a series of Instagram live attacks against celebrities and other right-wing conservatives during that same year. She was posting attack after attack after attack.
So what this person right here is saying is, if you are a Democrat and you start criticizing or critiquing other Democrats, then you are a traitor and you should be excommunicated. How dare you actually say anything critical out loud about someone that is on the same side as you, politically speaking? That is weird. That's what you call being in a cult. You are free to criticize anyone, right? Typically, when people say things like jealousy, people are quick to say that. I don't necessarily subscribe to that necessarily. This is different. I to be jealous. And it doesn't help. And this is also part of the reason why I believe that this person is paid. What they'll typically do is they'll take, I believe I may have said this yesterday, they'll take someone based on identity politics. Here you have a so-called black conservative. Let's have them critique another black female conservative. Now it seems a lot more credible, right? A lot more legitimate. See, look, even other black conservative women disagree with her. This is propaganda.
Also began selling these freedom phones, and I remember when she came out with that was interesting. I was like, okay, that was kind of out of, that was random, is what I was thinking. And next thing you know, the freedom phones didn't exist anymore. Never brought it back up, which is phones for $500 and they were worth $120. And that she was doing that because people said in her, like during her current investigation, that she keeps bringing stuff up and then after it falls apart, she never even addresses it. She takes no accountability.
I don't know if that's true or not, but if that is true, at the very beginning of her video yesterday, we spoke about how this young lady here said that Candace Owens flipped on the conservative party. Part of the reason is because she started to critique Trump. What's very ironic about this is that you see how she's doing a deep dive on these things about Candace, right? What do you all think that she would find if she objectively did the same deep dive on Donald Trump? If she compilation of videos of Donald lying, all his campaign promises, things that he said Donald Trump or President Biden was going to do, like starting a war with Iran because his poll numbers were dropping. That's quite literally what's happening to Trump right now. Talking about how we've been in the Middle East for far too long. The money that we've spent those dollars on our roads and our schools and, rejuvenating and building the country back up. It's quite literally the opposite of what Trump is doing right now. He's doing the very things that he accused other presidents of doing. Tell you to do. That's just how it works. Imagine if she was this objective and took a fine tooth comb and okay. Am I going in and out?